It seems like every week there's a new model drop and a new AI agent framework and something else that you've got to test out, or a new skill like caveman mode so that you save on your tokens if that actually even works. Beyond that, you might notice in the news some of the biggest companies, the biggest names that have the biggest scale and are using the most AI are actually having some of the most trouble. They're running into scalability issues. Their services are getting disrupted. If these are the companies that are using the most AI, why are they running into so much trouble? You've probably seen how many new pull requests and the velocity that are coming from your teammates with new code changes, new ideas, new shifts. Seems like everyone is using AI coding tools, about 85% according to Stack Overflow, but only 29% trust the output that's coming out of them. And that's actually down year over year significantly. I want to go into a few reasons why. That the AI code, actually, there was a deep study done by Pharos. It actually does a lot of churn. Over a 90-day period, it rewrote the same chunks of code 9 times. That's 900% code churn. You really don't want that kind of churn. You're actually not moving forward. You're rewriting existing frameworks. Another thing, not only is it moving faster, it's making bugs at almost twice the rate. You've got new speed and new bugs rapidly being introduced. So that's okay. What you can do is put in some frameworks to try to catch these issues. Most common way you're going to go about this is by doing reviews. You've got 2 main options. You can use the AI tools to do their own reviews, and you can see here the best of the best might catch half your bugs. That means half your bugs are not getting caught by that. And the other option is relying on humans and doing more human review. A lot of teams are not necessarily set up for this, and the amount of time being spent in human review has now doubled. This came out of another recent study. What can we do instead? Recently, Angie Jones, who is part of the Agentic AI Foundation, which is part of Linux Foundation, had a new idea of a testing pyramid for AI agents. And actually, the pyramid starts on the bottom. It starts with a deterministic foundation, a consistent and repeatable way to understand, did the agent break something? So this is table stakes. Everyone should absolutely be doing that. That is your bread and butter unit tests and things that you want to build in all the time. The second stage is actually reproducibility. If you can reproduce an issue and give it to an AI agent, it actually will fix its own bugs. But if you don't have this reproducibility, it runs unit test, the code looks good, and it ships it along. The next tier is dealing with the probabilities. You're going to start to get so many test scenarios that are running against your code. You rely upon a 100%, everything has to be perfect green, because that's not going to happen anymore. You've got to use probabilities and understand, is this likely to cause an issue or not, and feed that into your model. But it needs good data to know what's going on. And the very top tier, sure, use some AI vibes. Have it judge its own code. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with that. It's just not the way we should be going about doing it. So here's where most teams actually are. They've got a couple unit tests that run, and they test a very small amount of the code, and they rely on the AI vibes. What we're along with SpeedScale is a way to help you set up that main core foundation so that you actually have good unit tests and integration tests to build upon, and especially work on the reproducibility. This will give you a great return on the results coming out of AI. I'm going to show you how this works in 3 different layers. First, plug it in through MCP interface directly into your AI coding agent, for example, Claude Code here. Claude Code was empowered with the context of how code actually worked with real API examples and real scenarios, and through that was able to reproduce a bug that's happening in a production system, understand where the bug is coming from, and how to properly fix it. By giving the right context to your AI agent, it's more likely to solve its own problem. The second tier, you've got to invest in your CI pipeline so that it doesn't just build and push straight into production. You want to be able to run scenarios. Use that same data that you have about how the application currently works, and you get a free regression baseline test that can run directly in your own environment. And you can, by the way, set up these CI pipelines either to stop the build, or you can run it as a copilot where it will just inform, hey, these things were identified, there are some drift or change in the API contract, was that on purpose? And that enhances the human review, which definitely should be done during PR phase. Third layer is all about taking a shot at this code before you push it into production and making sure you run it, you scale it up at those same production level volumes and data scenarios, and see, did the error rate change? Are we getting more errors that are coming out of the system? Did we introduce a latency issue? This is actually a screenshot from our own release process where we validate our code can handle 20,000 transactions a second for one of the units of mock server, so that we know each mock can handle that. It's a standard part of our reference architecture, and it's the kind of quality gate that you want to build in to make sure you don't release if you have that kind of issue. This is all part of the overall SpeedScale platform. On one side, you've got the ability to integrate directly with your AI coding agents, whether it's at your desktop or if you are doing factory and ephemeral environments. Plug it right in, give it the extra context, and it's simple to get started. We even have a free tool with a one-line install. And then on the other side, we've got SpeedScale Cloud, where you can integrate in with your production environment, capture traffic, and understand how things are actually running. And not just basic web calls, but encrypted traffic, every protocol and technology you're using, databases, and reproducing these issues in your environment. If the data is sensitive, it can be redacted or even stored in your own VPC so that it's right next to your production code. A couple of examples of customers who are doing this with us today. Simpress is the parent company of Vistaprint, and they dramatically cut down on their first deployment of SpeedScale. They cut down the time spent in testing phase by 80%. Actually, there was 4 weeks allocated for this project, and they were done in 2 days. It gave them time to get to all the other teams and ensure that they didn't have an issue before an important holiday season. IHG Hotels is spinning up thousands of ephemeral environments. Every time you want to make changes to core APIs like the reservation system and ensure that they don't break something and introduce a defect. Regarding the security and stability of the data, Flyer is using the SpeedScale information so they can capture traffic from running applications that are in countries where they cannot send the data outside of the country. It stays inside their own environment. They control access to the data, and this enables them to identify issues that are happening in their production systems and replicate them, but everything is done without having to send data that they don't control. So you might want to know, what does a typical implementation of SpeedScale look like? The thing is, you can plan everything out on paper. Understand, is this a good fit for your profile applications? Is there a good technology fit in here? And build a reference architecture on paper so that you know what will this look like as you roll it out. And then jump in, we'll assist you on a 30-day jump, install everything in your environment, capture traffic, get visibility, transform the data so that you can run it against the new versions of your code. We definitely believe that people should be able to touch and feel the technology and run it for themselves and stand behind that. If you're looking for more information about SpeedScale, reach out to us on speedscale.com, put a comment on this video, or sign up for a free trial. Join our Slack community. I guess that was more than one option for you, but we're easy to reach, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.